Hello students, today we will be understanding what actually are the access specifier in your subject object oriented programming and methodology. My name is Sourabh Singh. I am assistant professor in the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning in Sagar Institute of Research and Technology. So access specifiers are basically of three types, that is public, private and protected. If we do not specify any access modifiers or access specifier, basically somewhere it is written modifiers and in some books it is denoted as specifier. Both the things are one and only same. So if we do not specify any access modifiers for the members inside the class, then by default the access modifier for the members will be private. Okay, so we can define the member function and the data members of any class as public, private and protected. But if we do not specify that what are these members, in that case the members will be automatically becomes private. So access modifiers are used to implement important feature of object oriented programming, which is known as data hiding. Okay, uh, you previously we have discussed the four pillars of object oriented programming, that was encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism and abstraction. So in encapsulation and abstraction, the data hiding concept which we have learned can be practically implemented by the access modifiers. So access modifiers or access specifiers in class are used to set the accessibility of the class members. That is, it sets some restriction on the class members not to get directly accessed by the outside functions. That is, when we were reading the encapsulation, we were reading that this class members cannot be used outside the class. And same thing here, it is also denoted that if we specify some members as private, in that case these members cannot be accessed outside. There is also one thing, it's protected. I will discuss the thing in the later slides. So first of all we will be learning about public members. So if we denote the class members as public, so all the class members declared under public will be available to everyone. The data members and member functions declared public can be accessed by other classes too. Okay, so if any data members or member functions, if we denote in public section, okay, in that case that members are available to everyone. That is, we can use that member, data member and member functions variables anywhere in the program. The public members of a class can be accessed from anywhere in the program using the direct member access operator with the object of that class. Okay, so we will definitely be creating the object of the class, and by simply putting the access operator, that is dot. For example, if we create any class with the name student and we create any object of that class student s1, so after s1 dot we can access any of the members which are denoted in the public section. That is, we can also uh, access those members outside the class, not within the class. We can access those members outside the class if we denote that members in the public section. Well, if we talk about the private, the class members declared as private can be accessed only by the member functions inside the class. They are not allowed to be accessed directly by any object or function outside the class. Okay, so if there are members which are declared in the private section, so that members will be allowed to be accessed only within the class. Okay, these members will never be accessed outside the class. Only the member function or the friend function are allowed to access the private data members of the class. Okay, if there are any functions which are the friend of that class that we have already studied in friend function lecture, so that can definitely access the private data members. Other than friend function or the member functions which are already inside the class, no one can access these data members. However, we can access the private data members of a class indirectly using the public member functions of the class. Okay, so if there are some data members, like if we uh, denote some, create some data variables like integer a, integer b in the private section, and if we want to access those data members outside the class, then first we have to create the public member function, and in that public member function we will be uh, converting those members into public. Okay, like if a and b are the private data members and x and y are the public data variable inside the public member function, so we will assign the value of a and b into x and y, and indirectly we will be accessing the values of x and y outside the class, as x and y are the public members. And the last thing that is protected in the access modifier section, if we denote some members as a protected, so in protected access modifier is similar to the private access modifier itself. The difference is that a class member declared as protected are inaccessible outside the class. Okay, so till here the definition is same of the private or the protected. The private data members are also those data members which cannot be accessed outside the class, and here also the protected members are same, that they cannot be accessed outside the class, but protected are inaccessible outside the class, but they can be accessed by any subclass, derived class of that class. Okay, so if we create any child class from this particular class in which we have denoted the protected members, so if there is any just derived class of that class, so those variables can access the protected members. For example, if there is parent class P and the child class C, and the child class C is inheriting the parents class, so if there is any uh, protected members in the parent class, so that protected members can be accessed by this child class. Okay, but if the child class is inherited by the other class, then those members will become private to its subclass. Okay, so till here it can be accessed, but after that these members become private. Okay, so this was the access modifier. Hope you understand this lecture. Thank you.